I think kalau I think for us as Muslims, kita ambil pendekatan, especially kalau children when they are learning, kita tak adalah strict sangat kan. So kira even when they are like macam dekat masjid tengah sembahyang all that, kalau dia tak tertib sangat, you know, ada gerak-gerak and they have to move and things like that, nobody is gonna say no, you cannot come to the masjid until you're perfect, right?
You know, like Raya as well. I think Deepawali time memang dengar banyak mercun, mungkin tak sekuat Chinese New Year yang
but still ada because it's perayaan Malaysia, right?
Getting there tahu sekarang kuat dia.
Kuat dia getting there kan. Sebab masa I pergi survey, ada juga diorang jual mercun raya Cina masa Deepawali ya. The red one yang panjang tu.
Still ada. Kalau nak
still ada. Sampai Nirov boleh cakap to the guy, but that's for Chinese New Year.
Bila kita sebagai parents kan, kita ada empathy, kita understand anak-anak kita, so kita mindful dengan apa yang akan jadi kan dalam seharian, dalam hari perayaan tu apa akan jadi. So kita dah ada benda yang kita rasa kita perlu lebih berhati-hati lah. And then kalau rumah kita sendiri, of course we have more control lah. Dari segi penyesuaian, accommodation dan modification yang kita boleh buat. Tapi of course bila kita cakap tentang rumah parents kita parents perlu jadi advocate. Itu yang betul lah bercakap Anit, kita perlu terangkan lah like macam mana sesuatu perkara tu boleh jadi sangat berisiko untuk kita teruskan. Walaupun ia tradisi, tapi kan api and anak yang hyper, it doesn't go well together. So Assalamualaikum, selamat sejahtera. Selamat datang ke Kita Family Podcast, episod ke-37. Dalam podcast ini, kami akan membincangkan perihal yang berkaitan dengan makna serta kepentingan hidup bermasyarakat, menghargai keunikan serta kepelbagaian sesama kita dan meraihkan masyarakat kita yang berbilang agama, kaum, kepercayaan, rupa dan juga keupayaan. Kita menghargai hidup secara inklusif yang mengambil kira keperluan segenap lapisan masyarakat, terutama bagi mereka yang kurang atau berkelainan upaya. Dalam episod ke-37 kali ini, kita akan membincangkan satu topik sempena satu perayaan utama di Malaysia. Bersama saya seorang diri di Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. Tapi bersama kami di studio, kita ada Nori.
Hai, Assalamualaikum. Hai.
Dan kita ada Anit.
Hello.
Okay, so kalau tengok baju, especially baju Anit dengan Nori, kalau siapa yang menonton melalui YouTube, dah boleh agak lah perayaan apa yang kita nak bincangkan kali ni. Sebab kita cakap tadi kan, podcast kita membincangkan tentang kepelbagaian kaum. So ini salah satunya lah, kepelbagaian. Jadi sambutan apa tu? Mungkin Anit, kita nak sambut apa?
Okay, kita nak sambut perayaan Deepawali atau Diwali dan perayaan Festival of Lights, the triumph of good over evil in every sense.
Yes. Saya ada dapat sedikit definisi daripada internet lah. Festival cahaya Diwali ataupun di Malaysia lebih dikenali sebagai Deepawali melambangkan kejayaan cahaya daripada kegelapan, kebaikan daripada kejahatan dan pengetahuan daripada kealpaan. So I like the last one, knowledge over ignorance.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And for the rest of us, as usual, kita tumpang baju cantik dan makanan sedap. Seperti orang Malaysia yang suka tumpang sambut other things dengan kawan-kawan.
Kita as Malaysians, number one makanan, nombor dua raya kan. So ini salah satu perayaan yang besar.
Didi, you notice tak hari ini baju kita bertema bendera Malaysia?
Of course, kita anak Malaysia kan. And kita cuba untuk dapatkan semangat festive tu. Semangat keceriaan, joyful kan. So kita cubalah dari segi pemakaian juga. Tak adalah hari ni dipakai hoodie biru lagi kan. So lain sikit.
Hari yang memang kita tidak memakai hoodie dan tidak bertemahkan kita family.
Of course, walaupun kita cakap tentang Deepawali, kita perlu memikirkan tentang anak-anak neurodivergent kita lah, yang of course mempunyai berbagai-bagai cabaran, especially bila melalui perayaan. Sebab bila kita bercakap tentang perayaan keagamaan ni, selalunya dia disambut setahun sekali, betul tak?
Ya, betul.
Jadi dia bukan rutin.
Betul.
So kita nak dengar sikit lah daripada Anit, apa yang berbeza pada hari Diwali dibandingkan dengan hari biasa. Bagaimana ia diraikan?
Okay, actually because keturunan India itu daripada utara ke selatan berlainan. Jadi orang yang mempunyai roots ataupun asal usul daripada bahagian utara, cara mereka sambut itu lain daripada yang bahagian selatan India. Tetapi in general, it always ada prayers. Memang ada upacara untuk memberi doa, memberi kesyukuran dan juga mendoakan untuk the goddess of wealth, Lakshmi, juga untuk datang ke rumah masing-masing. Jadi dalam proses itu, and it depends on which area they're celebrating. Kadang-kadang bila menyadakan puja ataupun apa, ada banyak persediaan yang perlu dibuat. So kadang-kadang kecoh. And then if you start off with things like you go to most houses and they will have the kolam, or in Hindi it's called the Rangoli, which is with the coloured flour outside, and actually it has a good meaning because it's usually with coloured grains of rice, and dia bagi makan kepada semut. So if the semut datang and ambilkan those grains, it's like giving rezeki to those that really need it as well. So it's a good concept, but it's also become coloured and all sorts of fancy things. Some do it with flowers now. And I find with neurodivergent kids, the focus untuk buat benda itu memang menjadi satu yang amat mencabar. Juga mencabar adalah kadang-kadang kalau tak perfect kan, if you get them started on it, because if it's like colouring, you say okay, we've drawn the outline.
Yes.
Cuba kita buat. Okay. So Nori can probably jump in and say apa akan jadi kalau dia tak perfect.
Kalau katalah anak saya dulu yang maybe buat macam tu, dia akan upset. Mungkin dia rasa kalau benda tu drawing lah kan, and then dia memang suka menggunakan marker pen, dia akan koyakkan kertas tu, dia tak happy. So boleh bayangkan je lah, mungkin kalau dia nak duduk depan kolam dengan rangoli, nak letakkan ni, mungkin kalau sengit, I think kalau tak silap ni Raf, or I don't know, or some other kids, he's just gonna swipe everything,
right?
And he did.
And he did.
Balik.
Oh no!
And then you have to start again. So I think I learned with time to say it doesn't need to be perfect, and then I made some changes. I started using chalk as outline, so that when you have to redo, memang outline dia memang ada. Kalau tak, sakit hati tau. Okay. I know you see so many people who do it with freehand, right? I'm sorry, with neurodivergent kids, that's not possible. Janganlah. Sebab kalau dia nak start semula, I think the parent pun kena masuk untuk calm themselves down, prevent another meltdown.
To yourself. You go to the calm room, is it?
Yes, and I think you need extra material. You just cannot have secukup-cukupnya.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sangat mencabar sebab yelah kena ada preparation, and I'm sure lebih baik kan kalau kita boleh buat social story siap-siap kan.
Betul.
Like explain apa akan jadi. And then modification, I like Anit punya idea guna chalk, so ada backup lah kan.
Memang ada backup.
So walaupun dia dah satu tradisi, and of course bila cakap pasal tradisi, dia dah ada tradition dia, cara yang dilakukan oleh orang sejak dulu kan. Tapi tak salah kan kalau kita nak modify macam tu untuk memudahkan anak-anak kita kan, jadikan dia lebih inklusif and tak mendatangkan dia lah emotional struggle kan.
Yeah, the other thing is oil lamps. I think kalau pergi mana-mana akan nampak oil lamps di rumah. It's like to light up the house. Okay, that can be a hazard because especially kids yang hyper, dia nak pergi sentuh. Atau
pelita yang dah dinyalakan tu dah ada api. Like it looks like a candle and stuff.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
So that can be modified too. So, if you use a candle or something that is not using the actual oil, although there is a significance, I think that would be a great thing because you're still celebrating and I really believe that if you want to keep up with traditions, it can be modified. That's just my view.
And to be inclusive.
Yes.
Again, kan?
Yep.
Yeah. I
It's
suppose,
always to be inclusive.
I don't know if this is right. Tapi kalau boleh, mungkin kita ambil pendekatan especially bagi kanak-kanak lah. Of course, bila kita sebut orang neurodivergent, we have adults too. And we are talking about accommodation, adjustment untuk semua. Tapi dalam konteks kanak-kanak, I'm thinking in my mind, please correct me lah kalau saya silap kan. I think for us as Muslims, kita ambil pendekatan especially kalau children, when they are learning, kita tak adalah strict sangat kan. So kira even when they are like macam dekat masjid tengah sembahyang all that, kalau dia tak tertib sangat, ada gerak-gerak and they have to move and things like that, nobody is gonna say no, you cannot come to the masjid until you're perfect. Right? So it's like kalau boleh ada kelonggaran lah satu atas dasar kanak-kanak yang sedang belajar, but also I think because of the neurodivergence and you can argue it's still learning sebab developmental punya delay, right? And things that are going on. So I suppose being flexible, just like with any situation, is going to help, right? So that must be something that maybe a family has to learn.
Yes.
Once a neurodivergent person becomes part of the family, the flexibility lah. Again, it's like a big mindset and all that punya change kan to cope with all this, and that I'm sure that can be a bit of a challenge, right? But the faster your mindset is there, the easier it will be for everybody lah. Good, right?
I think it's very easy when it comes to immediate family. It's explaining it to orang tua-tua yang memang dah biasa kalau semua kena gotong royong untuk let's say make cookies or buat murku, and then suddenly the mom says no I cannot, I need to just look after my child. I think with the extended family, or can we adjust it that there's no oil lamps when we come to the house, or let's adjust it. Those sort of things are conversations that should happen.
Yes, communication. You must.
Sepatutnya diberi penjelasan kenapa, sebab especially orang tua-tua tak faham sebab as usual we brought up kids too. Bukannya we all tak pernah membesarkan anak. That is a common thing.
Yeah. So kita macam kita minta dia understanding lah kan.
Yes, because I think bila kita sebagai parents kan, kita ada empathy, kita understand anak-anak kita, so kita mindful dengan apa yang akan jadi kan dalam seharian, dalam hari perayaan tu apa akan jadi. So kita dah ada benda yang kita rasa kita perlu lebih berhati-hati lah. And then kalau rumah kita sendiri, of course we have more control lah. Dari segi penyesuaian, accommodation dan modification yang kita boleh buat. Tapi of course bila kita cakap tentang rumah parents kita parents perlu jadi advocate. Itu yang betul lah bercakap Anit, kita perlu terangkan lah like macam mana sesuatu perkara tu boleh jadi sangat berisiko untuk kita teruskan, walaupun ia tradisi, tapi kan api and anak yang hyper, it doesn't go well together. So kan
mercun tu mercun because like Raya as well. I think Diwali time memang dengar banyak mercun. Mungkin tak sekuat Chinese New Year yang
but still ada because it's perayaan Malaysia, right?
Getting there tahu sekarang kuat dia.
Kuat dia getting there kan. Sebab masa I pergi survey, ada juga diorang jual mercun Raya Cina masa Diwali ya. The red one yang panjang tu.
Still ada. Kalau nak
still ada. Sampai Nirov boleh cakap to the guy, but that's for Chinese New Year.
Tapi kalau kita tengok lah macam kalau makanan dekat open house kan, kadang-kadang kalau kita tengok buffet lain, kita pun tak berapa pasti kalau kita sekali imbas perayaan yang mana tau. Sebab it's almost as if there's a food from every culture represented, right?
Betul.
Because kalau masa raya pun, selain daripada of course rendang, ketupat lemang, whatever, it's quite frequent to see a mee there, you know, mee goreng or mee hoon or kway teow or something like that, or even a pasta. And then like you know, Chinese New Year buffets also, apart from the other stuff, there's like, you know, satay will be there, curry, whatever,
roast lamb for Diwali.
And yes, I you know, all the same things will come out. But I just teringat tadi when we were talking about grandparents jadi advocate kan, I think if I would like to suggest antara strategi yang boleh digunakan, because you know lah, bila perayaan and then time masa jumpa family, kadang-kadang jumpa family yang kita jarang jumpa, rakan lama, all this kind of stuff, you know, all these things, and you know, human relationships and people talking and this, all that. I think antara good strategy is you make sure you get one of the senior people or orang tua on your side. So definitely if the grandparents sendiri, kalau tidak you have an auntie thing or whatever, that is the one kalau yang boleh advocate for your child or advocate for the family member yang neurodivergent, itulah yang boleh jadi your champion. Because kadang-kadang kita pun macam, you know, serba salah, don't know bila kita nak sebut macam ni, dan kadang-kadang you know, cakap silap tak cakap silap, you know, that kind of thing. But I think kalau you can get a senior person, older person, warga emas, all that, the auntie will come and tell everybody, listen, this is for, you know, like they'll come and say, no, I need this, you know, it's like this, and then orang lain tak berani nak tegur after that, right?
Betul.
So I think that could be antara tip or strategy lah, in terms of, because managing people, that is all part of perayaan besar.
Definitely.
Right? And all the chit-chat, chatter-chatter, you know, this time people catch up lah untuk ask you all these questions about school, about work, about kahwin tak kahwin. I'm sure all this akan ada and confirm akan terkesan jugalah if we have to talk about, you know, all these other things. And we know that in our situation, if it's a family member that's neurodivergent, these questions are not fun and these situations are not fun.
No, and I can also say that actually some of the Indian outfits, walaupun nampak sangat cantik, mempunyai konsep-konsep yang berlilap-lilap sikit. So they are not very they're not very comfortable to wear. And
sensory baju problems. Ouch.
Overload.
Yes. Yeah.
So, you know, please allow your children to wear what they want to wear, yang memang mereka comfortable. And to me as parents, it's also important you wear what you are comfortable in, sebab nak deal with anak-anak ni masa perayaan besar, you know, not just Diwali, but even if it's Chinese New Year or Raya, you need a change of clothes, you need a change that is for them, for you, because manalah tahu, you know, something may be spilled onto you masa keluar. That happens also. So I think kita kena extra prepared kan, A to Z.
The planning ahead is the same lah kan, tak kisahlah perayaan apa-apa, but really even though it seems a bit leceh, even though it's even more work on top of the other things you need to do, it makes a difference lah, that things can potentially go smoother. Ataupun kalau benda-benda yang, you know, tak ingin kita lihat berlaku, okay lah, sebab kita selalu sebut kan, kita kan memerlukan plan A, B, C, D, E, F. So same thing, right? Diwali ke, whatever ke, I mean, you know, I guess it's the same thing, right? Be really prepared with what's going to happen.
No, because if you're wearing a beautiful sari and the child has a meltdown, it's a real challenge. You nak buat macam mana? You nak dukung anak tu, you nak deal with that, and then kalau, you know, it's not properly pinned, you know things
so
like
maybe
that.
a shalwar kameez or Punjabi suit instead of a full blown sari
might be easier. And even for the child, you know, whatever the child is comfortable in, and if they are comfortable in with just a cotton shirt, please just do that. Sebab bukannya wajib untuk pakai yang lilap-lilap or yang, you know, ada sensory.
Yeah, because kan orang lain kebanyakannya memang akan pilih untuk pakai yang sangat berwarna-warni, warna yang cantik-cantik, and then dengan perhiasan rumah yang also lebih daripada biasa. So the surrounding, the environment is already very sensory challenging kan. Jadi kalau ada benda yang kita boleh control atas badan kan, pemakaian lah. Kita perlu satu benda perlu selesa. Tak boleh macam just because it's hari yang penting, hari yang semua orang perlu pakai cantik-cantik, Tapi itulah, cantik tak semestinya material tu perlu yang tak selesa. Kita perlu adjust lah kan, cari jalan untuk yang selesa tu nombor satu, kemudian cantik tu mungkin come second lah.
Betul. And then dia akan perlu lebih kan, and especially kids bila dah ada sensory issue dan berpeluh. I think perlu ada untuk spare untuk tukar, untuk kalau boleh tumpang bagi dia mandi, untuk get the whole sensory thing.
A lot of communication lah. I think that's why we've also said before, banyak benda ni kena macam advance lah. Kita dah jadikan tabi'i, kita dah biasakan senang berkomunikasi dengan semua orang, keep in touch with the family, benda-benda macam tu, supaya bila benda-benda macam ni jadi, tak adalah macam untuk kali pertama kita akan telefon uncle kita ke apa-apa, sekian-sekian baru nak ceritakan ni, so it helps a lot lah already kalau kita dah biasakan diri buat preparation in advance, communicate a lot, try to be flexible, all these things. Memang penting diperlukan hari-hari biasa, but amat diperlukan bila hari macam ni lah, special days, out of routine. Okay, are we taking a break?
Yes, with that, let's take a break. See you after this. Hai, selamat kembali. Kali ini kami bincangkan tentang perayaan Diwali dan bagaimana ia memberi kesan dan cabaran kepada anak-anak neurodivergent kami. Jadi, mungkin Nori boleh share, sebab topik neurodivergent kita sebagai parents ni adalah topik yang kita telah bincangkan daripada awal kita mulakan podcast ni. Mungkin boleh share beberapa tips yang kita telah kongsikan sebelum ni, dan bagaimana untuk kita punya penonton dan pendengar boleh refer pada episod yang lalu.
Oh ya, betul. So sebenarnya masa kita start perjalanan kita di Kita Family, if I'm not mistaken, the second video video panjang yang kedua, episod yang dirakamkan di studio adalah episod Tahun Baru Cina. So Chinese New Year, we had an episode and we covered a lot of things which included like macam preparing untuk big gatherings, travelling, kan? What is it that you need to do to be prepared, especially balik kampung ke ataupun nak pergi mana-mana, and keadaan traffic and all that. So I think sebenarnya kita dah sebut dalam segmen 1. One is to think about preparing yourself beforehand lah. So apa jua cara yang kita gunakan yang memang sesuai dengan family kita, individu yang dimaksudkan, please do it also. It is exactly for times like this that you remember again, you had the social stories, conversations in advance, communicating to people. Selain daripada episod Tahun Baru Cina, kita ada juga episod, kalau tak silap, we did something called Eid Celebration Tips. That's actually a nice and short video. So each one of us keluar, kita memberi cadangan tentang macam mana untuk lebih bersedia lah pada masa sambutan Hari Raya Puasa at that time. And I think even in Ramadan we also had something. So there will be things that jelas mempunyai keadaan atau suasana yang ada persamaan lah. Because we're just talking about out of routine, big celebration, gatherings, unusual food, unusual clothing, unusual movements and travel, cuti. So these are all things which is akan berlaku. And of course expectations like keluarga, expectation dari segi budaya, expectation dari segi agama, benda-benda ni akan secara khususnya adalah perbezaan. Of course there will be differences in terms of your faith and belief, but we're saying that this kind of planning, the same mindset has to be there. If this is the first time or you are a new listener to Kita Family, welcome. But also yes, if you haven't heard the older episodes and you do want to hear macam mana kita boleh have a less stressful, more enjoyable and more inclusive celebration, please do check out the video. So the second video, Chinese New Year again, and then Ramadan were about the 9th and the 10th, like long videos that we did in celebration tips pun. And then untuk celebration tips tu macam di Instagram pun ada, because we did a shorter version, and that is really a quick one, just to remind people things like bawa lah bag dengan segala barang keperluan, think about food, yes, think about exit strategy, right? Kalau pergi dengan satu big group, just because of one person, tak tahulah kalau kita nak create satu keadaan di mana semua orang terpaksa balik atau semua orang terpaksa keluar daripada tempat tu. So maybe you plan in advance. Kalau kita dah tahu ada 2-3 kereta tu pun boleh jadi tempat yang macam calm zone lah, quiet space, right? If you cannot leave yet, you can still go back to the car, for example, but the main thing usually is the communication. Now be prepared for yourself, and however, whether it's your house, somebody else's house, and just communicate. Yeah, so hopefully some of these things can help, and of course we'll be really happy for you to also look at the old episodes juga lah.
Yeah. So it's like social stories, like telling the kid to stay away from the column and staying away from the oil lamps which can burn, and the effect, which would be really, really important as well. Sebab kadang-kadang mereka tak sedar tahap danger that they are facing, or that they can offend, or bila main mercun tu, kalau dia tengok sparklers and the bunga api tu, kalau dia nak sentuh, the impulsiveness.
Yes, of course. And things like, kalau kita dah tahu anak kita sensitif pada bunyi yang kuat, janganlah lupakan headphone dia. That's not the time to forget the headphones. Correct. Right? Yeah. Bring the headphones, and that's something that I think you can, of course, again, easily explain to people. That's not a problem. And I want to
just talk about a lot of people going to temples, and Hindu temples are one of the most visited places during Deepawali and Diwali, and there's a lot of bells, noise, and light that you take as blessings. So kalau anak kita tak prepared, perhaps I'm not dictating, but it may be a good idea to stand afar, take turns to be with the child while the parents go and get blessings, so that everybody is included. Janganlah kita cakap, sebab anak I tak boleh pergi temple. Maybe plan it in advance. Pergi, ada parents yang boleh duduk dalam kereta.
Sebab bergila-gila lah.
Dengan bergila-gila. Kerana kadang-kadang bunyi temple bells tu, loceng dia, memang mengkagetkan. Even if they are wearing headphones or something, they get shocked, and then there's a sensory overload. So just depends on your child. They'll say, we need to get blessings, you need to get holy ash for the child. Bring it back, apply it on your child. It doesn't need the priest to do it. There's ways of doing this. So
there are lots of different ways to be flexible.
Yes.
For every ritual lah. Right? So untuk setiap aktiviti atau setiap ibadah yang berkaitan dengan agama Hindu, ada caranya lah untuk membantu sesiapa yang memerlukan adjustment. Okay.
Sampai anak tu boleh faham sikit and boleh buat rutin, and neurodivergent kids, bila dia ada rutin atau dia dah mula buat benda tu, dia akan buat macam pro, and then sampai parents pun akan, oh my god, dia boleh.
Oh yeah, especially autistic kids when they want to do things perfectly and proper. When they can do something, it will be done beautifully.
It will be done beautifully. So sometimes bawa anak tu lebih awal, it's probably like the same as going to a masjid. Bawa dia untuk solat bila less people or tak ada orang, supaya dia biasa dengan environment. So similarly to the temple, bila tak ada ramai orang,
janganlah tu first time nak pergi kan.
First time nak pergi masa perayaan tu memang mencabarkan, dan akan
cari pasal.
Dia terus sebut, it crossed my mind. I'm like, do I say it? Didi terus cakap cari pasal.
Yes, cari pasal.
No, kalau sanggup silakanlah, but just if you go, you just have to be ready lah to face the consequences of it, right?
Yeah,
if you want to be brave,
Yeah.
you do it, but just expect
And kalau nak bawa offering ke
Yeah.
apa-apa ke temple ke, janganlah tunggu pada hari itu baru nak pergi beli. Because it can be chaotic. Belilah awal sikit, you know.
Yeah.
So that those are all adjustments yang kita perlu fikir. Maybe 2 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead. Buatlah apa yang perlu.
Yeah, there's different adjustments lah. Because antara, okay, like for us, masa raya, antara tradisi which is not actually technically connected to the perayaan tapi lazim dilakukan, which is like menziarah kubur and all that, you should pick your time lah.
Betul.
Kan? And there's nothing wrong if you want to go the last few days of Ramadan or you wait for a few days in Shawwal. There's nothing wrong. Nobody says you have to go, you know, ambang of like the right that thing, or I mean on that time or that very morning when everybody is there. It's okay to make these adjustments, and you know, but again it's almost like kita yang kena prep macam nak sejukkan hati dululah kan, untuk kita yang bersedia, supaya kita pun tahu ini adalah mungkin satu perubahan. Sebelum ni kita dapat buat all these kind of things, you know, but I think we just do that and we make an adjustment for our family members anyway. Kita akan buat adjustment untuk ahli keluarga kita yang warga emas, kita akan buat adjustment untuk any child kan, baby baru, young children. Tak semestinya neurodivergent aja we do. So I think this is just another thing lah.
Betul.
And it's okay. This biasa. And kalau kita menyebut benda ni sebagai sesuatu perkara yang biasa, I think orang pun akan respond like, oh really, like okay, it's no big deal, right? Otherwise, like if you make it into a big deal, it's going to be a big deal lah. Some people, because you know, we have like, you know, as parents over the years, kadang-kadang orang akan tanyakan kita certain things, tapi kalau kita jawab dengan
Selamba,
you know, yeah, selamba. It's like, it's okay, yes, it's part of our life. I think orang pun dia akan pick up lah. Dia akan faham. Dia pun take the cue. Dia pun tak akan nampakkan macam benda ni like, wah, it's such a big deal or anything like that. So it's just, you know, adjustments.
And typical Indian mothers, grandmothers, dia nak sangat feed people masa Diwali or any perayaan for that, you know.
Okay.
Dia anak datang rumah tu, kalau tak makan tu tak sah, kalau tak makan tu dia rasa tersinggung.
I think this is the auntie nenek kacau all over the world lah.
Yes.
Every budaya will have
Every
this
budaya,
for
kan?
sure. Memanglah they want to feed you. So what happens?
So to me it's about just explaining to them. So kalau anak tu memang tak boleh makan pedas or too much sugar, oh my god, that's an issue tu masa perayaan, and especially Diwali. If you have all those Indian sweets, I think it's a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for anak jadi hyper
And then later crash.
And the crash can be quite bad. So you know, you have to control and say that's enough, and then you will have the auntie going, hey, it's Diwali, let them eat. When are they going to eat? They're growing children. So yeah, that is
Be prepared also for that lah.
Be
kan?
prepared for that. Don't gaduh. Just be calm about it, and say it's enough. And I'm the mom. It's okay. And divert the child to something else.
Yeah. So kalau kita prepared, then as you said lah, tak payahlah gaduh kan, dan kita pun tak payahlah nak sakit hati sangat, because again, so many things are very well intentioned obviously, right?
Betul.
Cuma tak macam tak kena dengan anak kita lah. Bukan
Betul.
kita tak nak, bukan kita tak faham tradisi kan, but again the communication. Yeah.
And understanding the child. Sebab anak tu pun faham. I rasa anak tu pun nak juga meraya kan, nak beraya. So bila kita boleh raya dengan cara yang dia comfortable atau dia suka, that ultimately for every celebration it is that way, and then they will have a great time.
Yes. Yeah.
Kan, to find the balance kan, dalam kita nak lindungi anak kita daripada sensory overload, tapi at the same time kita nak introduce tradition. Tak adalah kita jadikan alasan, oh anak kita tak boleh ni, tak boleh tu, tak boleh jumpa orang ramai, nanti dia meltdown lah, apalah. There's a way untuk kita introduce. Memang sikit-sikit tak sama macam anak-anak typical, untuk cara kita nak perkenalkan kan setiap tradisi, setiap adat yang kita nak celebrate apabila perayaan ni. So to all parents, sebenarnya ada cara. So learn from the experience of others. Macam kita pun dah lebih 10 tahun meraihkan celebration cara neurodivergent parenting. Kan, like give and take. Ada yang kita terpaksa let go, ada yang it takes time lah. Betul. I'm sure Anit pun, your children daripada mula-mula macam susah-susah, I think now do you still need a lot of modification or they can do
No, now
ada gambar ni dia pilih bunga api sendirilah, beli barang-barang sendiri, so dia pun nak take part kan.
Dia memang dia memang champion untuk light mercun. Tak takut. Sampai there's still mommy at the back like, careful. Tapi dia very independent. So but it
took a long time.
It took a long time. It took a lot of effort.
Yeah.
It took him being inside the house when mula-mula orang lain main mercun, dengan slowly dia datang, tengok daripada belakang langsir, and slowly bila dia rasa macam comfortable sikit, dia keluar. So give the child space. And as Nori said, kalau perlu headphones. Kalau memang dia tak suka, kita boleh lah cakap, tak payah. And the last thing I think is, with every celebration, whether it is Diwali, Chinese New Year, Hari Raya, there is a lot of screen time. Sebab bila pergi menziarah orang, TV kan pasti on. There is a lot of screen time, and that's something that as a neurodivergent child has to be managed.
But you know what, I remember, I think masa tu kat Instagram ke apa, I saw this feed. Ini bukanlah time dengan masa nak lecture dengan kecam parenting yang memberi screen time kepada anak untuk membantu dalam keadaan yang memang susah bagi dia dah, benda tu dah mencabar. That is when we take these things lah, once in a while, or that that's what it is. And there are different other studies, to show that the screen for neurodivergent people means differently. There are different other uses for it. So you have to think really carefully about the trade-off. Yeah. So I'm not now trying to say that all the neurodivergent people should have extra or a lot of screen time. No. But what I'm saying is, if kita dah buat, satu macam, macam analisa lah. Kan, untuk anak kita. Kalau benda ni lagi banyak plus dan positif berbandingkan dengan negatif, it's okay. Let it go. We know we have to do things differently daripada keluarga dengan anak-anak yang typical pun. Yeah. So take the help, and sometimes those things, that is the help lah. That is when you want to use
if
it.
That 20 minutes allows mommy and daddy to makan, take it.
Or to go and say hello to a cousin or whoever yang kita jarang jumpa, and have that a conversation or something like that. Yes, take it. Just and also maybe ada sama yang episod yang dah sebut pada awal tadi. There's also tips for how you can help as the person who is the host, right? As the person who is the host. So macam Desiree dulu pernah cerita, dia ada ahli keluarga yang akan bertanyakan dulu, dia tak payah sebut apa, dia tak payah nak kata, boleh tak saya macam ni bila nak bawa Hans ke apa. Diorang tanya dulu. And so this is very, very helpful. It will be a very kind thing to do. So for example, kalau you dah tahu, you dah menjemput ahli keluarga atau rakan yang mempunyai individu neurodivergent and all that, and you want them to come, then please take a bit of that extra effort to make them feel a bit more welcome lah. And again, nak mengingatkan semua orang, kita sebagai orang Malaysia dah biasa buat adjustment ini untuk semua orang. Kita buat adjustment untuk benda-benda yang berlainan dari segi budaya dan agama. Like food, for example, we make adjustments about food for each other all the time.
We do.
I think it's only like what it's interesting, right? It surely must just be in very few countries like Malaysia, where it's like, okay, this is I can just imagine. I know my Chinese friend there. It's their celebration, but they are looking for a halal caterer for their open house.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, right? But these are amongst the beautiful things about Malaysia.
Yes.
So we know how to do this already. So to reach out to say, what is the, like some adjustments or something that I can do to make you feel more welcome. We are good hosts.
Yeah.
Orang Malaysia pandai buat benda ni semua. You know, dan just if we can remember that kita dah biasa sebenarnya tahu menjadi inklusif, kita naklah juga all this kind of amalan-amalan inklusif untuk neurodivergent untuk cara the way the brain works differently, right? Not just dari segi budaya and agama and all that. It's just one more thing. So I think it can be done. Yeah.
Kan sebab neurodivergent ni some consider it a tribe itself. A tribe, satu
a neurotribe,
kan? A neurotribe. So kalau kita boleh adjust, pastikan makanan tu sesuai untuk berbilang kaum, and then religion punya requirement as well. So why not? Kadang-kadang tak perlu dah the whole set tu memang sesuai untuk neurodivergent juga, tapi ada sikit kan. Ada sikit mungkin yalah, you call up kata anak you suka makan apa, because kita pun pernah ada kan pengalaman where host dah jemput and tanya anak kita makan apa, apa yang dia suka.
Betul.
So that is really very beautiful lah. But of course as parents, I think I already shared also these tips where kalau anak kita picky eater, what we can do is sama ada bawa bekal ataupun kita feed anak kita dulu.
Ya,
kita pergi rumah orang.
Betul.
It's not wrong. Kita tak perlu pergi rumah orang dalam keadaan lapar just because we know that there's like ada makanan banyak. Tapi anak kita yang kita tahu belum tentu makan kan hidangan-hidangan tu, tak apalah, kita bagilah dia makan dulu apa yang confirm dia akan makan. Sebab yalah, bila pergi rumah yang jarang-jarang pergi, dengan macam saya cakap tadi, bila perayaan ni rumah mungkin hias dengan lebih berwarna-warni. Kemudian dengan tetamu yang lain pun pakai pakaian yang berwarna-warni lebih daripada biasa, and people can be loud as well.
Music lah, band lah, kita tak tahu how grand the celebration is kan.
Yes. Kalau ada perkara yang kita boleh atasi, kita boleh kurangkan potensi-potensi untuk anak kita rasa kurang selesa. Lapar tu confirm lah, siapa yang rasa happy bila lapar kan. So elakkanlah.
Ada anak yang kalau dia suka sangat satu benda atau satu cookie tu, dia akan ambil satu balang, dia tak nak share. That's quite common too.
Yes. Itu budak-budak tipikal pun buat lah.
Tipikal pun buat.
Itu bukan sifat orang neurodivergent je.
So sebenarnya raya ni of course adalah satu learning opportunities juga. Banyak lesson kita boleh ajar anak kita, tapi perlu berlapang dada lah, sebab kan experience tu tak selalu. So bila berlaku mungkin kita perlu ajar, kita perlu ingatkan, kita perlu ada action lah. Contoh macam kolam tu kan, kalau bukan pun kita jumpa di rumah orang, di shopping malls ataupun mana-mana pejabat kerajaan pun kan, government department pun ada kan dekat lobby cantik-cantik, where they have like kadang-kadang sebulan sebelum Diwali pun dah ada dah.
Hospital
anak-anak
pun
kita
ada.
Bila nampak restoran pun ada. So punyalah geram, cantik je apa kan, walaupun dah ada penghadang tu. Jadi apa kita nak perlu buat kan. Takkanlah kita nak kata, oh maaf anak saya autistik, dia tak tahu apa-apa, and biar je anak kita main. Tak boleh lah kan. So we memang akan lebih penat sebab kita punya guard akan naik lah. Kita punya senses kan, mommy senses ni nak jaga anak kita buat apa. Especially masa anak kita kecil lah. So
I think itu terima lah and be prepared for it kan, that you are going to be more tired. Sorry,
jangan
it's
rasa
true.
discourage untuk pergi.
Masa perayaan ni I think bagi parent-parent yang ada anak neurodivergent tu memang mencabar. So the message is, show a bit more kindness, show a bit more patience, be inclusive.
To yourself first. To yourself first, and then
to others around you.
Understanding to your children, and then
No, it's true. And help lah where you can. Let's say you are the family member, and you know that there, you have somebody like that in your family. Katalah you're going around traveling in the group visiting. Maybe you are the one lah that will offer to say, okay, I'm going to drive, right? Or kalau boleh. Or like, okay, don't worry, you can call me if you need to go home. Anything lah. But if you sanggup, there's anything that you can do to macam meringankan, tanggungjawab or list yang panjang mungkin yang, that the some of your family members need to do. Help. That would be really nice.
And if a child is playing with their fidget toys ke apa-apa, just watch from afar, and kalau the child gives you the space to datang lebih dekat dan kenali, cuba kalau kalau sanggup.
Yeah, that's in line with the learning opportunities lah.
Yes.
Yeah, learning opportunities to see, things like that. But just, lots of things. It can actually end up being a, really good celebration.
It can.
Yeah.
And it will.
Maybe more meaningful.
Definitely.
In some other ways, maybe more meaningful kan? Because bila tiba-tiba anak kita dapat buat something yang dulu dia tak dapat buat, it will mean a lot to us. But you have to think about everything lah. I mean, including things like ambil gambar. So, if you have a big family and you really feel that this gambar is very, very important and nobody should be missing, again, that preparation lah. Suruhlah semua orang siap sedia and think and plan and go, okay, now bring, right? That,
and that will be the last
that
one.
family member, and that's the last family member. So kita cepat lah, right? So there's adjustments and all that can be done. Janganlah yang kita bawa dulu, dia lah yang kena tunggu, dia lah kena, use your logic for whatever it is that makes sense lah. Same thing that you would do, like you probably, would take some of these considerations, for example, to make sure ada kerusi for an older family member to sit down, tak perlu berdiri dalam foto. So buatlah apa adjustment yang perlu untuk family member yang lain yang ada keperluan yang lain kan. So stuff like that, right? It's just being considerate. I think it's okay. All this can be done. Don't feel too overwhelmed by it. It doesn't have to be a super big deal. Yeah.
And there's the trend of doing TikTok videos kan masa perayaan sekarang. Walaupun Chinese New Year ke, Raya ke, Diwali.
Family you nak buat ke?
Oh tak.
Kata the
I am so sorry. That's why I brought it up. That with family members that cannot do it, then
leave them alone lah.
Leave them alone, and it's okay. Find a different tribe to do it with.
Okay.
Jangan paksa. Stress tau. Sebab to get the TikTok video right, 4 kali, 5 kali.
Okay. So of course like musim perayaan kan, Diwali sama macam perayaan lain juga. Satu yang kita semua nak enjoy, kita nak happy, tapi mungkin cara kita berbeza, tapi sangat berbesar hati kalau host families would be more, I mean like with extra effort trying to be more inclusive, tak akan buat anak-anak kita terpinggir.
Anybody that's part of the jawatan kuasa at the temple, please also take note about how you can help. Siapa lah yang mendengar out there kan, kita pun minta community lah. The community needs to help. Yes, the village plus can help a lot.
It reminded me of like dulu-dulu kan, bila even for community Autism Malaysia, kita sangat tertunggu-tunggulah Hari Raya Autism Malaysia. Sebab bila kita raya sama-sama dengan keluarga-keluarga yang mempunyai anak autistik juga, I think everybody's gut kind of like went down. Semua orang macam tak ada rasa segan anak dia nak lari-lari ke apa ke. I really wish we can feel that way bila kita pergi rumah saudara mara kita, kawan-kawan kita. Dah tak ada rasa macam anak rasa segan sebab anak kita berbeza, anak kita
menyusahkan,
rasa menyusahkan sebab it's a natural feeling. Rasa tak best. This is untuk pengetahuan mereka yang tidak ada anak neurodivergent. Kami sebagai ibu bapa ni memang kan selalu kan bila kita melalui benda yang biasa untuk orang lain tapi mencabar untuk kita, selain daripada kita rasa penat, kita rasa marah, kita rasa segan sangat, rasa macam anak kita tak macam anak orang lain, which really dampen any perayaan pun kan, rasa macam rasa tak seronok lah raya macam ni kan. Jadi itulah, kalau masyarakat lebih inklusif, meraihkan bersama-sama anak neurodivergent, not just anak-anak lah, individu neurodivergent kan, not just anak-anak, dewasa pun kan, kita raikan, kita cuba cater macam Nori cakap tadi, cater lah kepelbagaian needs that they have. Barulah perayaan ni dapat disambut dengan rasa gembira, sama gembira lah. Tak adalah macam hanya pergi sebab tuntutan, because we are part of the family, kena pergi juga terpaksa dengan rasa berat hati, dengan pergi balik tak seronok.
Betul.
Rasa tak dihargai, tak diraikan. So we really want, kita dalam podcast ni pun memang tu yang harapan kita kan, kita nak semua orang lebih cakna lah, lebih ambil berat dan it takes effort. It won't come naturally. So kita mohon kerjasama, mohon usaha daripada semua orang. Not just of course ibu bapa, kita selalu cakap pasal it starts from the ibu bapa yang perlu advocate. Now we are advocating in a bigger platform. I think this is a bigger platform, and yang orang lain pun boleh ni kan. It's not just sembang-sembang between friends anymore. So really hope lah.
Help everybody feel that they belong kan. Memang that's why kita sebut pasal inclusion all the time.
Kalau
help
kita boleh pakai
feel.
pakaian tradisi kaum lain, why not embrace this neurodiversity of every other child and every other person, so that they can enjoy it with us too.
Betul?
Okay.
So
cepat before we end ada berita. Cepat.
Why is this not a conversation anymore? Why is this becoming a bit more serious? Kita ada berita kan?
Serius ke? Tak serius lah. Cepatlah.
kita ada berita. Hari ini kita sudah mencapai 1,000 subscribers di YouTube.
Alhamdulillah.
Syukur sangat. Oh, thank you God.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you Malaysians for your support.
Kita punya penonton, pendengar. Keep supporting us. Terus berkongsi kita punya video. And then follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, TikTok. Kita bukan hanya ada video podcast, kita juga ada information dalam bentuk grafik. Kita ada klip-klip daripada podcast kita. Kita ada juga cuba macam Anit cakap ni, kita cuba buat TikTok video juga. We try. Selamat datang dalam kita family. Sebab kita kan family.
Yes. Welcome to the family.
Welcome to the family. And kalau dah jadi family tu, teruskan menyokong kami. Boleh tinggalkan komen, boleh like all the kita punya content. So big day, 1,000 to the next 1,000 and more watch hours on YouTube and Spotify. Thank you so much.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you also. And of course, as we end this episode, this is another similarity, I think, between wishes for the Muslims and for people celebrating Diwali Mubarak, right?
Yes,
we use Mubarak as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Diwali Mubarak to everyone celebrating, all our listeners. We wish you a very happy Festival of Lights.
Yes. And that was in Hindi. So in Punjabi is Diwali dengan lakh-lakh wadanya. And that's just giving congratulations for a fantastic Diwali.
Selamat menyambut Hari Pabali kepada semua. Semoga ia menjadi hari yang bahagia, dan jangan lupa untuk berhati-hati di jalan raya juga. Terima kasih. Hingga berjumpa lagi dalam episod yang akan datang. Bye.
Bye.